Well, at this point in time in the story, I had entirely checked out. I was just like, they couldn't just leave it well enough alone. The 5 cities thing was dumb enough, but they're just like, no, we gotta put in the one more twist, right?
What if there are 0 cities? What if there aren't any?
There are 0 cities.
There are no cities.
There are 0 cities. There are 15 characters sitting in pods right now. That whole thing where we see them in the Sentinels, that's the only real world.
Okay, so this 1.2 million people just
all fake AIs created to, I don't know, entertain these chuckle fucks.
And are they still? Is it still like humanity's future? Are they still like pods and stuff? Or
yes, for whatever reason, before they actually, tried to like clone a livable population of people, they had to create these 15 people, put them inside of fake cities.
And so it's just a big escape room. Is that really what I'm getting? Like, it's just so convoluted. Why would you have the time travel and then
why was this necessary? Why was it necessary to have these 15 peoples specifically like they already, we're going to see this at the end of the story, but yes, there is indeed a terraformed world.
Why are we spending 80% of our resources creating a fake reality for the last 15 people on Earth? Like, the last 15 people who exist.
Instead of just, letting them out into the planet.
This makes Omicron, well, it's still less dumb than Omicron, but still.
Omicron's so dumb.
Yeah, it's like, it's.
But no, this is just like, it's just, so nothing matters.
I mean, at least.
It's just like this, and this entire thing, it's, like, wait. It's all just nothing.
You've discovered the secret of visual novels. I hope this hasn't been too crushing.
And why even have the thing where they can access the UFO or whatever in the first place? That's not a real place.
Indeed.
They didn't have to put that in here.
There's no UFOs. There's just the characters. So why?
Yeah, but for some reason it still exists in the simulation that they all live in.
Why give them a backstory? Why give anyone a backstory? Why give them a military hierarchy? Why give them a simulation of 1945 Japan?
Why did they need to have that, knowing that this was not phase 1. Remember, everybody, this was not phase 1 of the like terraforming project, where it's like, okay, we're going to ease them into appearing on a new planet or something like that. Or maybe it was. But
so this is
none of it's real. They could have just built a real fucking city and populated it with 1 million people, but first they needed to have these 15 teenagers grow into teenagers, and then they were gonna let them out.
Well, it's a little bit like the very beginning.
Look, man, no. We can't just have a livable population on this planet. First off, we need to put these 15 teenagers into a simulation of a fake Earth.
This is where the sketch breaks down. This is where the pre-tape talent show. This is the first week. Well, we haven't gotten any calls yet because we haven't gotten any calls because there aren't anyone else. So maybe next week we'll get some calls. That's where we're at right now.
Okay, here's the thing. It's just like every...
If it's all fake, why have
yes,
these...
there are 1.2 million AIs in each one of these cities set up to, I don't know, I guess entertain these 15 characters.
When did they... imagine being an artist on this game or a writer on this game and not knowing the twist and just having to plow through it, and then just like one day you go into work. It's like this game you've been working hard on for two years. Look at all those like blue screens, those assets that you've been like drawing painstakingly, beautiful displays, and then you just, well, is this one all right, boss? Like, is this gonna, is this good enough for the... Yeah, it's actually great. It's fine. Because, did you read the memo? Did you read the email that we all got this morning? No, I haven't. Well, I would go read that. And then so you go, your little terminal, you go to your email, and it's like, we're doing the final twist. It turns out it's all just the Matrix. Doesn't matter. All the assets.
It's all just the Matrix.
Yeah, so...
all these things about like having these virtual screens, this is pointless.
This is a lie. It's all...
None of this is real.
They're lying to us now.
You see the thing where they're all in those pods? That's the part that's real. Yeah. Somehow they have all of their hair perfectly coiffed, despite spending their entire life living inside of these things.
They don't have clothes, but they do have glasses.
They do have glasses.
Well, you got to make sure you have the glasses.
Also, Miura does have a scar on his forehead. How'd that happen?
Well, I don't know. If you die in the game...
Oh, anyway, they're shifting all... So to save everybody in the 1985 dome, they're shifting them all away into one of the future domes. But what does that fucking matter? They're all AI constructs in the first place.
Well, yeah. So these are... Yeah, exactly.
So what's the point in... Oh, Miwako saved. You know, the AI construct that was created to entertain Iori Fuyusaka.
Oh, Miwako. Oh, who could forget? The most important character in the game.
The AI construct who was created to entertain Iori Fuyusaka.
What is young Chihiro doing?
She's teleporting all those people away so that they won't be killed by the kaiju.
And she's an AI. She's just like...
But she is also an AI recreation of
Why am I
Chihiro
doing this?
Morimora's Prime's personality.
Good fucking question, young Chihiro AI.
How did you gain access?
Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing any of this?
No, you're not. You're prisoner 426 or whatever. Who cares?
Who cares? Those are all just AI recreations of... I guess they wipe all of their brains during every single one of the loop.
Well, yeah. Surviving...
But none of the loops are real in the first place. But they wipe every single one of their brains so as to start over for... some reason.
I can just tell the way you're clicking in this game, just you're so over it. Like, you're just like...
oh, yeah. You don't even know how over it I was at this point in time. It was just like, it's nothing then.
Kengo
It's just
Ogata.
nothing. None of this is anything.
It's all fake. David Letterman, he was never a real person.
Oh, we're getting... Oh, you know what? I'm gonna just spoil this right now. Kengo Ogata is Nenji's father, Nenji of 2188.
Okay.
Yeah, they created an AI, and he was going to be like... He was also going to be put in the simulation because he was going to be like the god king of mankind, I guess. Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? It's all fake. It's all fake bullshit.
It's all lies. It's
like they're trying to put in some other story element in here. What does it matter now in the face of none of it was real?
Uh-huh. And by the way, you can't...
It's like we talked so much about how things don't really matter in the face of 5 identical cities.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it doesn't matter in the face of 0 identical cities.
Even the low stakes that we already had, it's just like, okay, well, just get to the part where they form couples.
You asked like, is this happening across the entire galaxy? Yeah, I guess because it only has 15 people required to do anything.
Well, 15 is a good number. It gives you enough. I mean, just from a...
Yeah, because of course, it couldn't just create clones of 1 million people. And have those, and I don't know, build a city. They needed to make the Matrix for these 15 people.
Listen.
I don't know. I don't know why. There's no reason.
Listen, I accept your judgment that you made on a stream that I was not privy to, where you called me the biggest fan Genropa. And I agree with that. But you know what? I wouldn't base humanity on the Danganronpa universe. Like, I wouldn't build a universe based on,
so that you could have 15 people play through Danganronpa until it's completed. If they die, they need to have their entire brains wiped.
15 nearly identical cities of people.
And then when they're finished, they're going to let them out.
Are they?
But until that point...
And
we can go over how nothing makes sense.
I refuse to let. I just love this, just like stupid, like I refuse, like the principles of. I refuse.
No, we'll let the 15 people control the future of humanity that we're actually going to be creating before we make anybody else.
The 15 people who have been endlessly replicated by this AI, but we don't want the AI itself to control the universe. That would be absurd.
Well, universal control is not Kengo. Kengo is. Fuck. Doesn't matter.
They're not even gonna come back to that.
They are. They're talking about it right now, but it's just like, who cares?
Yeah, Kengo got.
I'm sorry. We just found out that nothing in the game was real.
Is Kengo Ogata...
Even more so than we already knew that it wasn't real.
Is Kengo Ogata...
I guess okay, here's the thing. It's like, it's true. These are all intelligent people, intelligent AIs, as intelligent as a normal person, that were created purely to throw away as soon as the 15 main characters got out of these pods.
Far be it from me to reference
Which
the
is
bit, but
ghoulish.
is Kengo Ogata Wajima? Or is Wajima just crap? Like, is Wajima nothing?
Wajima's just some fucking styrofoam
Brain in a jar.
the standee in the background for these 15 characters.
The NPCs in a Brain in the Jar universe are just flash drives with shell scripts.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're a small Linux distro. That's your existence.
and they were all just going to be shut down as soon as we let the real people, the 15 main characters, out.
I feel like this is like the Matrix Reloaded without the original Matrix to give us some kind of grounding. It's just like, okay, we're just gonna.
And by the way, it's like, yeah, you couldn't do this storyline until you completed Hijiyama. Like, so it's like, of course, you know.
The storytelling.
You're going to be sitting here thinking about this for this episode and the next hour.
The storytelling.
And I'm just going to be mashing through dialogue because I don't care anymore.
Everyone loved.
You lost me, game. You just had to get in one more twist. You couldn't just keep it oh my God, it's so many layers of just like, okay, it's not actually time travel.
Uh-huh.
It's not actually a city. It's not actually 5 identical cities. It's nothing.
Well, the relationships are real. The couples.
That's true. The relationships are real. The people, the AI constructs are in fact intelligent constructs.
Yeah.
Which again,
in my opinion, they're looking for love in Alderaan places, which is to say, the other 15 characters.
Yeah, imagine if they didn't all fall in love with each other.
And you were upset that I was spending too much time on song parodies. I mean, they weren't good.
I've been sitting on this one the entire series, man. It's like, if you thought that I was being needlessly harsh to how some of this stuff worked, it's like, that's because I knew it was eventually going to go to this point.
Gouto episode considered harmful.
What? No, this is the... You tried to do this last time, too, and I still...
It was a paper by Dijkstra, like the guy from Dijkstra's.
Oh, by the
algorithm.
way, apparently Chibi Hero can just get rid of the decode, or who cares? if she even can, who cares? It doesn't matter. None of this matters. None of this matters anymore. We've hit the point where none of this matters.
Now we've just got to like we've got to like reconciliation. We've got to figure out what mistakes we made.
There's something to be said right now. It's just like we do have one more episode left and everything, but it's just like, man, what a fucking nothing ending to this game.
Now, not to be all Anton Chigurh, but this is like if the rule you followed led you here, the rule of finishing every game led you here, of what use was the rule? Oh.
And the thing is, I knew this. I've known this for how many episodes now?
And yet we had to finish. It's really important that we finish.
Is there? I actually feel kind of bad that I brought you in on this series now.
No,
It's hitting me. Hitting me.
No, you know what?
I'm sort of feeling. I'm actually feeling empathy for the fact that after being exposed to this twist, I chose to keep you on the series. This is where my villain arc, you know, I finally have that like last moment of self-awareness, and I'm like, oh my God, I made you watch this.
I have become the Joker. What have I become? The Joker, of course, but that's not good.
It's true. I'm the Joker now.
Yeah.
I'm the Joker, baby.
Yeah. Which one? Which Joker?
The Jared Leto one, unfortunately.
The worst Joker.
I'm sorry. I didn't choose to be this Joker, but this sort of evil is only comparable to him.
You've got the tattoo on your forehead that says damaged.
It's true. That's why I can never do face cam. I can never show my face, not after I made you play 13 Sentinels, the game that didn't even happen.
Well, it's just a tattoo. You can kind of fix that with makeup. Just put some, yeah.
It didn't even happen. It's not even a real game. It's like that's going to be the final twist. That it's not even nothing was real. Nothing.
Even this series wasn't.
We're just going to get to the end of this, and it's just going to turn to a black screen, and it's going to be like there was no game.
There was no game. It never happened. Yeah.
Because again, it's just like they kept paring down the setting of this entire story until there's nothing left.
But don't.
There's no time travel. There's no cities. There's no Earth. There's no cities. There's nothing.
Don't apologize for bringing me in here, because this is our masterpiece. This is our hors d'oeuvre, our chef hors d'oeuvre.
But I knew the entire time, and yet I made you continue to sit through this.
But that
and we
twist,
did so many sandwich bits.
That twist is so much better than anything in this game. Like, it's actually got a narrative arc.
The fact that I made that I knew.
Yeah, you know, because it's like, it's true. You know, it's funny because like you kept.
And it's like I knew this when we were recording the previous episodes. I'm like, oh man, we're gonna get to Hijiyama eventually.
You kept insisting that there were certain types of lies that you would never do, and I think you mostly kept to that. Like, and
boy, it's like, how do you?
You're like, no, really. Well, I would not lie to you. Wajima is not.
I told you that this game was going to eventually be summed up in a way where everything made sense, right?
Well, see, the thing is, they took the
that was not a lie.
They took the arc of a story where, you know, you go rising action, falling, and then you get to a climax, then you do falling action, and that's the denouement. So they read that. First of all, they distorted it so that the climax was halfway through. And that was a big mistake. You want to make it near the end, you know, at least 60%. But then they also made the big mistake of assuming that was, well, let's have more
not
and more
good
twists.
Enough.
Let's just keep having twists, and then let's make it so that the game starts getting worse at the climax. Like, at the climax, that's... The game is at its best the moment...
Okay, let's just look back at this for 1 second.
Uh-huh.
We already were kind of checking out of the game when they were just doing seemingly a bunch of cleanup for events that were happening.
Yeah.
And then they just pulled the rug out. Our expectations were already low. Mm-hmm. And then they opened the trapdoor button that sent us right into the spike pit.
I would have been fine if they just ended the game after the 5 identical cities, and they had all the stories wrap up at that.
By the way, yeah, look at all this stuff where it's just like, oh man, now we got the intrigue about Kengo. Oh god.
5, yeah, we gotta care about Kengo.
It's like this is so irrelevant.
Is Kengo Egata Wajima?
No.
Oh.
Wajima, I told you, he's just a cardboard cutout.
He's just a shell script, yeah, in a styrofoam cup of nano goo.
Yes. Renya Gouto found that AI.
Of just, he was taken up, he was just a flash drive.
A flash drive in the liquid form because it's nanomachines, and nanomachines explain everything.
Being fed into the brains of the 15 most important people in the entire universe.
That is the one thing I absolutely called, is that nanomachines explain everything, and you can do anything you want with that.
And it's like I wanted to deny that so much, but then, you know, progressively I was getting more and more, and then now look where we're at.
One thing I am worried about is there are a lot of twists here that let's just say Danganronpa, you are not gonna. I mean, I think we could have fun with it, but
I can't believe that you've talked up that game so much.
Well, I may have talked myself out of it in the course of this series because, like, it is like a little bit like it's all duct tape. It's just that it was funnier. It was like the crazy duct tape, like
oh boy,
double-sided. Maybe it was like one of that. Like,
you talked about that in almost every episode of Persona. The last thing you said during the Persona series was it's not as good as Danganronpa.
Well, it's shorter, so.
So is this game.
Yeah, well, this game feels like it's as long as Persona.
This game still is better.
It's still better than Persona, even with the stupid twists. It's still.
It's just.
But I will say, Persona's.
It's so.
Persona's
nothing. They twisted themselves out of a story.
Yeah, well, you know, I will say Persona did have the ending was not terrible, and Like if we talk about,
I thought Maruki wasn't horrible.
if we talk about just like,
If we're talking about the ending of Persona 5, not Persona 5 the Royal, but Persona 5, that was terrible.
yeah, like, but if we're just talking about who is it? The the bad kid, badass. Don't even remember
Maruki?
his name. No, why would Maruki's?
He's not badass. That's true.
But the girl, the guy, and Maruki, I thought that was decent. Like, they did 3 decent characters. It was not a stupid ending. It just kind of ended, but they had some interesting stuff in the Royal. It wasn't terrible. I would say...
But you ended... Oh, man, we can always go back. And it's just like, yeah, we're so done with this series. We're just back talking about Persona.
If we just take... Well, I guess what I'm saying
We're so
is,
fucking done with this
if you
series.
just
We
take-
are so done with this series in every single way.
if you only take the scenes in the Royal, the 30 episodes of the Royal, and you put them against the 30 episodes here, I
Not
think
even. That was like 15 episodes.
Oh, okay. So I would say the 15 episodes of Royal is better than the 30 episodes in this series, simply because it's half as long, but also decent characters, all that stuff. So,
Well, at least those events happened.
yeah, I mean, I feel like this, if you just look at the quality curve, quality versus time, Persona just dips like way below this game, but then right at the end, this game dips below the highest point of Persona 5. So it's kind of like, if Persona 5 is a 2 out of 9 in your scale, I don't know what exactly your fucking scale is. This is a 3 out of 9. But
You had concerns about self-defense in the Matrix.
yeah, like at least you couldn't.
Now you're gonna use it to shoot me. You're gonna shoot me with the fake gun, with the fake bullets, so that I fake die.
And why do we care about what this child is doing? Like, it's just, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not real. You're just gonna, even if you made something that was real, you would just twist it away and make it so that, oh, actually, it's.
It would just twist until it was
It,
nothing.
it was all actually. It was all in.
It's so funny to think that.
This gun records
Wow, why don't we use that thing more? That thing's cool.
Yeah.
It's just there's.
It's all taking place.
We knew from the very beginning of this series, even before I knew about this, that it's just like this entire series was going to be built on twists, and then it just. God, it's like, yeah, you compare it to a ball of smoke and mirrors, right?
A ball of duct tape and a hall of smoke.
Yeah, but it's like it's not even a ball of duct tape. It's like the ball of duct tape wasn't even real.
Like, we're in a hall of smoke and mirrors.
You look down, you're like, wait, there was just nothing there.
to the crime
No. What it is, you wake up, you're in this hall of smoke and mirrors, and you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. Look at all these, like, the way the light is reflecting. And then, like, after 10 minutes, or actually after 30 hours, you walk around, and the smoke starts to dissipate, and it's like, oh, so it's just that fog stuff that they use. And then, this is just a laser tag area. This is pretty stupid. It's laser tag without laser weapons. It's just
But we
an
didn't
area
actually
for
shoot
children to
anything
run
because
around
all the
in.
people were fake.
in the Miura of 2188. Design engineer.
And then you find this ball of duct tape, and you're like, well, this is an interesting ball of duct tape, and you just you just unravel it, and then it's like, no, there's nothing here. It's just duct tape. Which, I mean, maybe if you,
He also
it's maybe a resource for now you've got all that duct tape, but
God, these logs are like the 2188 logs are one of the few things that actually happened in this game.
these logs are more like.
What does it matter if you're killed or not? You were never real.
These logs,
Nobody was ever real.
in my opinion, these logs are more like slogs.
emotional reaction when
This game is more like a slog.
vengeance isn't going to bring her
I can't believe that there's.
in mind.
In some ways, it is very predictable to think that they were going to twist themselves out of even having a story, but
Well, and it's not even like
how could you?
one of the few things.
But you'd be like, no, of course they wouldn't do that. They already went into the entire. They've already set up so many things that have happened so far. They wouldn't just undo that casually.
Well, the thing is, like, they're not even the whole thing with, like, okay, the Okino Hijiyama relationship. I thought that would have been interesting. Or, at least they could have done something with it. But then, I mean, you read the love letter, and it's like, oh, well, Sector 4, it's actually in Sector 5, and it's the number 13 Sentinel, and that's where you got to go. And it's like that wasn't. You couldn't even add
None
like
of the
some intimate
Sentinels were
touches.
ever real.
Yeah, like you couldn't even just have like I mean, this isn't even a slog. It's a damn cold slog.
I can certainly understand
Bring it back to the sandwich. All right.
It's
Just-
like you'd think that if they were gonna just eventually do this the entire time, that they would have really focused a lot more on the inter-character relationships.
Do you ever have coleslaw with like?
Where it's like the idea that where it's like, well, eventually we're gonna find out that all of these twists and all the weird stuff are just arbitrary bullshit to kill time.
I mean, have you ever had coleslaw with like spicy mayonnaise?
Firing in some ways.
No, I've never had coleslaw with spicy mayonnaise.
I think it tastes better. I think
I've never had any food before. I'm living in the Matrix.
high quality aioli, elevated cuisine. All right, no. I don't care what's happening in this game anymore. I'm sorry. Like,
It doesn't matter. None
even-
of this matters anymore. We're just done.
Even by my earlier standards of indifference, I have reached a new plateau.
We were already so indifferent about this story because it just felt like, yeah, well, you know, we know where the story's going. We've kind of seen it. We got like the basics of what's happening. There might be, you know, some minor things here and then it's just like, nope.
Nope. There's no. Life is real.
Nice try, idiot.
Yeah.
If you think you know how a story works, well, this is 13 Sentinels, baby.
Evidently, the inspiration for this game was just the lens flares from the end of Matrix Reloaded.
Cause. Inheriting your goal.
Is that too much?
I mean,
of a
once
pull?
again, all the characters are real in the sense that they're actually intelligent
We can solve this
people,
problem ourselves.
even the AI ones, but
So my
This game. Okay, so now that we know nothing.
but once
is real,
again, it's like why
sabotage.
was this game generated by an AI? Is that the final twist? Is that the?
no, we're done with twists. There's no more
Okay.
twists.
Okay, so
I mean, I guess technically there's that stuff with like Kengo, but
I suppose.
oh, it's gonna turn out that actually we're.
do you care at all?
Are we still in 2188?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
This is in fact happening on the planet.
Okay.
No, they did indeed terraform a planet.
Uh-huh. I mean,
And then they kept these teenagers inside of pods
it's actually all just.
until they would let them out onto the planet.
There's only
Whatever.
one. There's only one Sentinel, and it's just got 13 identical pods, or 15, whatever, 22, whatever,
15.
whatever. I'm
No, there's no Sentinels. Sentinels never existed.
Sentinels never existed. Okay.
By the way, let's make this clear right now. Sentinels never existed.
So even the title, like the 13 Sentinels Aegis room, again, like as I said, like a couple.
I mean, okay,
episodes
they
ago,
exist, but they're not real. They're virtual. They're all virtual. It's like, yeah, you thought this was a video game before. Holy shit, you
Yeah,
didn't
it's
even
like
know.
that Deep Space Nine episode.
I guess allegedly the demos are based on the real terraforming robots they actually used, but they're virtual. They're all virtual.
Yeah, it's surprising because, like, you know, you played Hades, right? Like that was a well written game. Like I know you weren't like as big a fan of it as I was, but like it was well written, right? Like it was
Yeah.
had
No, it was quite good.
and for having a non-linear storytelling, I mean, they did a pretty good job with like, okay, you know, you're advancing in the plot and stuff, and gradually gaining experience to go through, and it's like, you know, you don't necessarily have to like the system, but they did a good job with it, and it's like, this isn't even gameplay; it's a visual novel. Their storytelling is the only thing that they're doing. There's like an hour of gameplay or something, right? It's not even like.
It's not much.
mean-
And this is where you reveal
It's not even a hard like gameplay. What are they talking about leverage? It doesn't matter. It's all fake. What?
It's all fake bullshit, man.
Yeah. Listen,
Just
Chibi Hero. We love you, but
to be joking.
there's nothing.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't love anybody. I don't love anybody here.
Okay. Chibi Hero is an adorable nickname, but that's it. Really, just
No, yeah, like, okay, so remember that,
this dialogue has no like resonance with me
like,
right now.
as much
I
as I
lied to
don't,
you. And you
like,
know,
I don't
do you
care
know which
anymore,
lie I'm
but
talking
let's,
about? She is good at saying.
let
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Good.
me just do another fucking plot thing. Remember how Morimura's plan was supposed to be to, shut down the terminals without causing another, that would leave the cities destroyed without causing another loop. They're gonna find a way around that. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah. But
It's like we can try and talk about how like the ingenious plan
Satellites to their relay positions.
It doesn't matter.
It was all based
It's like
on...
we saw the final
It was
twist.
all built on lies.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? We got
I'd love to talk about it as if it was real, but it's not.
we got an hour left, or as they say, 5 miles within the cities that don't exist.
Until they hit the surface.
Yeah, I mean, and
Metric American
like I said,
time.
it's like we could have done Hijiyamas much earlier, but
Hijama?
I feel like we would fall into despair that much worse than we've already done.
Hijama?
The most irrational one.
But then again, it's just like I guess I also, in a masochistic way, did force
I
this.
expect you all to take responsibility.
Yep.
Yeah,
And how much time do we have?
Good luck.
we got 20 seconds left in this episode, and then we got 1 more hour left,
Okay.
and we're done with 13. And we're going to go kill 13 Sentinels forever.
We've got 13 hours left and 13 Sentinels.
Initiating communication.
God, imagine. Oh, in another 13 hours, they could have had even another twist where, like I said, the game just turns off.
I'm glad we saved Gouto for last.